Coming in fast, open the throttle, my foot on the gas.
Doctors party hard, bro.
No, they do.
They like the
German TV brand. They sell TVs for R1 million. 90% of South Africa's population use 10% of the hospitals in this country.
A lot's gone wrong since 1994 in our country. Like,
I have this thing with, there's this fashion brand called Kith that I've been
you're a brand ambassador, basically.
deeply
I want to get
involved
it
in.
right there.
It sounds like Mike Tyson tried to say kiss.
Yeah.
What is the price of like a Chicago now? Like 40? 30?
No, I haven't even looked at my
30 grand? I was just telling him how I cop off the Nike side.
Can I just understand something? So this raffle thingy that you do,
Yeah.
it's about trying to get into the raffle to buy the
You
shoe.
don't win anything.
Yeah, so you just like, you win an opportunity to pay for the shoe.
There we go.
Mental health, Doc, you just touched on it now. What was it like for doctors during COVID? I'm sure some of them were like,
It's about constantly working at yourself. It's about constantly every morning going, these are the weaknesses. I have a temper. I'm not going to throw my golf clubs in the pond today. When
He did that on Saturday.
look at
I feel like you're showing symptoms.
Okay.
He's showing symptoms.
Donny, no.
He's showing symptoms.
Donny, no.
One day I walked into Mill Park and I had like 10 to 7 and they had all the mortuary vans just lined up. There's like a ramp that goes
Get
down.
the hell.
Just to pick up the bodies from the night before. And you'd be in these WhatsApp groups that are like,
I've got, like, goosebumps.
60 people admitted last night, 30 people died. And this was like the daily progress reports that you're getting. And you just see these black bags being wheeled out. I worked a lot in the entertainment industry and I think I knew Double HP was a patient of mine. Like I knew Ricky from Rom 15. You see all these people that lived what we thought great lives. I mean, I remember seeing Ricky meet.
Yeah, give me all your attention. One time for the misfits. Through the doors open on the highway. I promise you don't want to miss this.
It's so nice for once.
I know nothing about the sneakers. I know nothing about...
It's more than just clothing.
Yeah.
It's more than just Eureka.
We all
and ice
drank the
cream.
Don yesterday as well at Father.
Oh, yes.
I asked them to pour for all of us.
The Don,
Yeah, we
you've
need to
got
talk about my first Father collab.
Dude,
Yeah.
yeah, you've got
We
a
had
coffee.
t-shirts and coffee. I mean, it's been a great year.
Yeah.
I mean, I've loved it.
Yeah.
Dude, all right, we're rolling.
Don's like at the top of coffee, sneakers, and medicine on the Z side hustle.
Yeah, and then soft serve somewhere. That's still
Soft
that's the
serve,
path
yeah.
we really want to.
That's the
in
brand.
2024.
That's the brand.
You seem like you're really enjoying life, though. Like,
I've had a great year.
yeah, that's
I think I've turned 40 this year, and I don't know what that came. Something special.
Yeah.
I think 2 special things happened, and I joke about this a lot. I turned 40 and I went to Japan, and I've been to Japan a few times, and I always say there's something special there. You go into the alternative dimension, and you never come back the same. And I think
yeah, because they've got like a Chinese New Year. I don't know if that makes a difference.
they've just got.
Everything.
I don't know. It's hard to put your finger on what it is until you've been there. They've got the friendliest people in the world. They are so
Really?
polite. They are so
Meow.
structured. And they they're young at heart. And I think that's what I quite like. You've got a lot of I'll never forget this image. I was on a train and there was a lady in what do you call what lawyers wear? The full uniform. But it's got
the robe. It's a
corporate.
robe.
It's but it's more than just corporate. She had the robe, the suitcase, the little bow tie.
Oh, and the wig.
And Mickey Mouse.
Oh,
Alice
wow.
Band.
Wow.
Yes. And I was like, I am home. These people take their job seriously,
For the
but there's
culture.
also you're right, for the culture, there was a lot of fun. It shows that, yes, we do have serious professions, but we're still human.
Yeah.
And for me, that's quite important. We're still human and we should still enjoy our lives.
Yeah, I mean, how do you get the time to do the traveling while being a GP?
I really don't like when Donny's on holiday because you're at home sitting having a terrible
them,
day.
King. He's
Now it's just Donny at the kids store,
spitting
Donny
on
buying
us.
soft serve.
Wow.
You know what I mean? It's one of those. But Donny, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Welcome.
I'm so excited to be here.
So
Thank you. Welcome to the Load Shed podcast.
Yeah.
We really, really wanted to have you on.
These are great mics, by the way.
Thank you.
Shout out to the mics.
Shout out to the mics.
you are the first person to be in a round table.
Yeah.
So normally we're sitting on couches.
Yeah.
And we decided to just see
Change it up.
what this is going to look like.
It's more relaxed, right?
Yeah.
I like it. And also hides my stomach. So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
great.
That's why I did.
And mine too. So we just got the bus shot here,
I was about
which
to
is
say
where I'm at.
that's the better one.
So all we do now is train chest.
chest day and
That's
arm
all-
day
that's
before
all it
sets.
is.
Standard.
Yeah. No
100
leg
push-ups
day.
and we're on.
No, what
we
is
skip
that?
leg day. Never the one.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to have you with us today. You're a jack of many trades, master of many.
none.
No, master of many. Master of many, I'd say.
Yeah.
Donny, just tell us more about yourself.
So as I said earlier, I'm 40 and I wear that proudly, right? I feel
Yeah,
this
you go
comes
for
with
it, sir.
It's like a rite of passage. Like, I always see aging as a privilege and not something we should shy away from. So happy to embrace 40 in the year 2023. I'm a general practitioner by qualification. I work at a nice group practice where I've got very supportive colleagues, married with no kids.
Yet.
And I don't think we'll ever have kids. But we can talk about that later. Married with no kids. What else? Love sneakers, love street fashion, love traveling, love coffee,
Love
ice
coffee.
cream, love life, I think, right? I feel like you have to have make time for the things that are really important.
For sure.
Like,
Awesome.
we have one shot at this, guys. Like one shot at this life thing.
You can say
one
that again.
opportunity. Like you've gotta enjoy, right? Yes, we all face challenges. Yes, there are some days that really get us down, but that's what we do. So that's kind of my life in a nutshell. And then in a professional space, as I said, GP, I've had a great career looking after the Idols contestants for the last 13 years. I think that's been the highlight of my professional career.
That's the guy.
Yes.
Worked on Miss South Africa. I now work with L'Oreal Dermatological Beauty in their CeraVe and Thelios, so their sunscreen and their skincare range. I think that's about like my day, which is
That's a
my
handful.
weeks are like
That's
quite busy. Like there's
that's
a
a
lot that
lot.
goes on and a lot of planning and
But that's pretty cool. Not every day is the same.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
not every week's the same.
Dude, why did you want to become a doctor?
I don't know. So I feel like I'm just really blessed. I think my mom said when I was young, that's all I wanted to do.
Really?
And I think why I'm happy these days is like I get to live the dream, right? Like this is something I wanted to do when I was 6 years old, apparently. So they say, like someone passed out at a wedding in Coronationville, like I want to say mid-80s. Most probably just from too much drinking. I was most probably 7. And apparently ran up there wanting to save the guy's life. And my mom's like, "You're not a doctor, sit down."
Not yet, Mom. Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. And that was the first sort of vivid thing of where they were like, maybe he's onto something.
That's an interesting parenting tactic for me here.
Yeah.
Because I can easily just say to my son, "Hey, listen, from 11 months, you've always wanted to be a Springbok."
Yeah. No, you're right. Just feed it.
Just feed him.
Just
Just
feed
feed
it.
him. And he's going to be like, "Really, Dad?" And I'll be like, yeah. Check your left foot.
Yeah, because we need a kicker, right?
Yeah,
I'm not big into
exactly.
rugby, but apparently
Yeah.
We need a
Exactly.
kicker.
I watched parts of the game, the Island game on Saturday, and yeah,
That's quite sad.
It's tough.
From the very little I know of rugby, that
Yeah.
it's not okay.
It gave
Yes.
Liverpool 2010 vibes.
Yeah.
You know
But
what I mean?
what I saw...
Gave me some Man United vibes.
Okay.
I knew he was going to throw it in. I knew he was going to throw that.
I have
We just
taken...
can't hit the target, right?
I've
We can't.
taken a hiatus from watching Man United games
Yo,
until
painful.
the rugby is finished, because I think my boys need to just get their lives in order,
Yeah.
you know, and understand who they're playing for, which is us. And right now,
fans.
they're not playing for us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you think it's going wrong? Coach, management, owners, players,
It's everything.
We've changed.
fans, Instagram. I feel like I'm running the spot. No, I'm kidding. Like,
We're being interviewed right now.
I think the boys need to understand what the badge is for.
Yeah,
Like the
sure.
guys who join your Liverpools and stuff like that. They fight to the death.
For
you
sure,
know?
for
I
sure.
don't mind losing matches. It's how we lose matches that actually
Yeah.
grates me. Yeah.
sure.
When guys just don't want to press. They don't want to run.
Track
they don't
back.
want to cover. They don't, those little things.
Yeah.
And I think just
but is
guys,
it just what I read the other day about this new generation? They silent quit, and do you think that's what's happening?
I think the boys are silent quitting.
They don't put a lot of effort
So
into.
I think
it's-
they silent
you know Wayne Rooney came out and they interviewed him. I think it was after the defeat against Bayern Munich. And he spoke about the change with the young players in football now. He said he recalls losing a Champions League quarterfinal and they still had the second leg. And he said when he got to the dressing room, Gary Neville, Keane, Ronaldo, the boys, they were like amped, you know what I mean? Like they were focused, they were upset, you know? And he said he carried on playing. And then eventually the young academy boys started coming in and Lingard and Pogba were there. And they lost the final. I think it was against Sevilla. I'm not sure. One of the finals, Europa League.
Europa, yes,
One
it
of
was
them
Sevilla.
was Sevilla. I think it was,
think
but
so.
Rooney was playing at the time. Was it before? It was a bit before, I think.
Okay.
Quarter or semi, yeah. They lost it, and he said when he got to the change room, they were doing a TikTok dance.
Yeah.
My God.
And he said
But
that's
it's
when
a
he
whole
just said,
generational thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
because there's so many distractions. Back when Roy Keane and those
Yeah.
guys played, there was no social media. There was like
Facts.
it was a different generation, and now there's a lot else going on. And I don't know. Should
but I
we-
mean, people prefer followers than actually being good at their job.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
How does I don't understand, even with these distractions, how does that make you focused and be a better player?
Yeah.
yeah.
Like,
But I don't know. I think. Do we be a little kinder to the youth? I don't know. Do I sound like that grumpy old
No,
man? Like
not
my
at all.
dad and my mom were like, these kids, they don't know. It's a different generation, right? And I think with a different generation, we need a different approach. And what worked in the Rooney, Donny age group that are now 40 might not work for a 20-year-old anymore.
Yeah.
First, start by cutting salaries and cutting the costs of
Yeah.
these players,
We-
because I think that gives
Yeah.
them a big head.
You can't be earning 300,000 a week and not being able to track back. That is disgusting. That is just that's a pain.
It's unacceptable.
But you see, I think with money comes responsibility, but it also
For sure.
comes with, like, it warps your view on reality, right?
Yeah.
With great power comes great
What
responsibility.
did you spend your first paycheck? I remember my first paycheck. Man. That
Really?
was
What did you spend your first
wild.
paycheck? What did you do with your first paycheck?
Sure, I was 20. I was 24. I just finished medical school. My friend Vota and I were interns in Cape Town. I'll never forget. I earned 13,000 rand. Man, that was a wild 13
Car.
grand. No, I didn't even I think we just drank it out.
Really?
To be honest, we went to the Paulana Brau
The
House.
doctors.
We were ordering sushi on sushi. It was a great time. If we earned 300,000 rand
Yo,
instead
Wow.
of 13, I don't think I'll be alive today.
exactly.
But I mean, doctors party hard, bro.
No, they do.
They like the drinks, eh?
No, it is. It's like, I don't know. Maybe it's a form of escapism.
No,
I
but the
don't know.
boys, you guys will know. You'll be like, I'm getting a drip tomorrow for this Papa.
Yeah,
Lounge.
straight across.
That's something
Once.
we all have
That's
done
the
at some
cover.
stage in our
That's
junior
the
career.
cover.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was 2008, I think, 13.
Yeah.
grand, and it was just, I think it did be, I bought a flat screen TV.
Nice.
Wow.
But like they were small, they were like the size, like back then, like that was a big size.
But that was big back then.
That was big back then.
like as long as it wasn't those big ones. Remember those big ass TVs you had at home back in the day?
I saw
Yeah.
a patient the other day and he said like he's now working for this German TV brand. They sell TVs for R1 million.
Wow.
I forget the name now.
The
They
players
had
better
TV.
come out their
1
TV and stop playing in front of my
R1
lines.
million rand for a TV. That's what.
What
they
does
do.
a TV do though?
3D football.
No, it has to do something phenomenal.
It's German. I, mean, I don't know. It's like
The German spec.
I suppose like German cars, maybe German TVs.
TVs, they're pushing the narrative now. They're pushing it. But
Yeah.
being a doctor in South Africa has its challenges, does it not? Especially, I feel like in the government space a lot more than the private space.
Yeah.
How was your time in government? When were you in
Horrible.
government? Is it? Was that bad?
And I think it was better then than it is now. I was in
Really?
government, I'm gonna say from 2007, 8, 9. So the end of that decade
Yeah.
to the beginning of the next one. And then things were pretty bad. But from what I hear from junior colleagues and people that come in, like we do a mentorship program at our practice where we get a lot of fourth year medical students that come and spend 2 weeks with us. They say it's really bad. Like there's
Yeah.
no ceilings on the roof. It's
There's
the
monkeys,
hours.
there's rats.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's
Lack of
pretty bad for you
resources.
guys? What is pretty bad for you guys in government?
I think it was just for me, mainly the hours that you had to work.
Really?
That's what was really bad. Like I think back then we still delivered a good standard of care. I think the hospital still ran well. Obviously there was always patient burden, but
Yeah.
it was just hours. The hours were horrific.
What's the point of sending the interns to government?
You've got to learn.
Yeah.
You've got to learn. I think when you leave medical school,
You're
it's
gonna
like
learn.
You're gonna learn.
Oh, you from Constantia. You're gonna learn.
Yeah, I think when you,
KwaZulu-Natal.
when you leave medical school, it's like a learner's life. You've been given the theoretical knowledge. Now you need that like lived experience. You need
Sure.
those years. Like I think they're vitally important.
But then everybody would be like, "Flip, this has rinsed me as
Yeah.
an intern.
Yeah.
Well, I'm getting out of here and I'm going to private." Then who's left in government? More interns.
And those that really have a passion for.
So sometimes like interns run the block, bro.
Yeah.
At
No, it
government
is.
institutes.
As I said, I haven't been in that space for the better
long
part
time.
of 12 years. But from what I hear, you've got really, and I love these
Yeah.
people, really dedicated, really passionate doctors that have stayed on. They've become registrars, consultants, head of departments. They're still there. They still have a love for it. I like my office though.
Dude. And aren't they trying to bring
NHI?
NHI.
Yeah.
Aren't they trying to bring
So I've got a very controversial stance on that.
let's hear it.
Like,
First can you explain it to us?
What is
and I don't think I
NHI?
totally understand it. I think they just, from what I understand, is they're trying to make healthcare more accessible to the general population.
Yeah, sure.
How so?
the last I read, right, and I think this was a year ago, that 90% of South Africa's population use 10% of the hospitals in this country.
90% use 10%.
Yeah. So the only of all the hospitals in South Africa, 10% are government, 90% are private.
Wow.
So we've got 90% of the public being serviced by 10% of the hospitals, and 10%, the other 10%, having access to the 90% of healthcare facilities. So that is, and you have to say that that's not right, right? Like you can't live in a society where you can't allow people basic access to healthcare. I think that needs to change. So I think the thought and the theory behind it is good. I think the practical application in South Africa is where we'll struggle.
And what are they wanting to do practically? Put it together?
Make everything one.
Yeah, from what I understand, and I know very little about this, like where private practitioners would then have to give time to the government sector, you'd see government patients at your private facility. They're still trying to work out how that will all
It's going to be hectic.
work.
The queues.
The queues, bro.
We just need, and I get it. Like if you work in healthcare long enough, you'll realize that, we're only servicing those that can, but what happens to those that can't? And I think for me, it became really like front of vision during COVID. Like, yes, we were.
Yeah. But the fundamental thing there is facilities, right? So instead of trying to bring the public sector to the private, why don't you make the public hospitals better?
100%. Why don't you invest in
Yeah.
public service infrastructure?
Yes, why don't
Because it
you
just
do
goes
that?
to show that private was obviously better run for a longer time.
Exactly.
And the
But
government
I think,
hasn't.
and I mean, I don't want to get political here, but I think we've seen this with stadiums or roads.
Yes.
It's just been a bad time in South Africa's history where we couldn't fulfill basic infrastructural needs, where we can't build roads, schools. You see that thing on Instagram of how they built an athletics track somewhere.
Yeah, in Eastern Cape.
Yeah, you got...
What, 15 million rand tender? I don't know.
Yeah. So I think that's where it's gone wrong.
We've seen so many like stadiums and things that have been built for like 30 million, 20 million. It's just like, what is this?
Yeah.
This is 100,000 max.
Yeah, it's just, it's not make sure for me.
Yeah.
It's not make sure because I'm just thinking, guys, just put some air cons in the public hospitals, like make it better. I'm sure there's a budget.
Because
If
make
some-
working conditions better.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
surely, like if working conditions were good, doctors would want to work there.
Yeah.
You'd retain a lot more staff.
Exactly.
I was born in a government hospital.
Okay.
And like my mom said
said
it
that.
was amazing.
You're absolutely fine.
Fun. You know what I mean? But my mom said it was like amazing. This is like 1994. You know what I mean? And my mom
Those
said
are good days. We had such momentum. We had
Yeah.
such enthusiasm.
excited.
we were excited.
We had
Yeah.
Mandela, the rugby. Sorry to bring it back to the Rugby World
good.
Cup again.
Yeah.
That was
Everything
95,
was
right?
going so
Yeah,
well,
95,
eh?
yeah.
When did we win the football? The year before that?
No, we won AFCON.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Yes.
also a big
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
That was
right?
massive.
Huge.
That was. I remember that was
Yeah.
massive.
We
I
were
was-
on top of a lot.
I was taking my first steps.
Were you? Oh, you're 2 years older
I
than
was
I.
younger, yeah.
I was there. Philemon Masinga, right?
Really?
Like that
Wow.
was.
I can't remember that.
Yeah.
Neil Tovey, Dr. Kumar.
Well, I heard
Mark
about
Finch.
Neil. Yeah, I remember that man. Yeah.
No, man. Yeah. So it,
That
A
was
lot,
a
a
great
lot's
time.
gone wrong since 1994 in our country. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you speak about basic things like not having lights. Like now we actually speaking about when we have lights and what's better. There was a conversation the other day where people were having and they were like, yo, what's the best time to have load shedding? And I was
Wow.
listening to it
It's
and
a
I was
wild
like,
conversation.
what are they saying? And the
4 to
lady
6
was
a.m.
saying, she was like, I prefer the 4 to 6 slot because I don't have to cook when I get home. And then the other guy was saying, I prefer the 6 to the 8 a.m. because I'm getting ready for work, so I really don't need to watch
Yeah.
TV. And I was like, are these the type of
Is this
conversations
okay?
we having in South Africa right now? It just doesn't make
Do
sense.
you think we fixed this problem? I'd like to believe we'd have to at some stage, but I think it's going to be a very
It's going to be a long one.
it's a long.
It's going to be a long, long
road
one.
to-
it's like my Manchester United team. I don't know.
But you know what the nice thing is, and I think like I've been around long enough to see that we still have momentum and we still have motivation and we still have resilience. Yes, it might be jaded, but I think we still have good people, right?
Yeah, we
Sure.
do. We do.
There's
still have
nobody
good
like
people.
South Africans.
do.
Everybody says that.
I said that on our way to Japan, right?
Really? And
No,
then,
still no one likes South Africans and then Japanese people.
really, Japanese people are like our
I'm
vibe.
going to tell you the story,
They
right?
learned the national anthem for the Rugby World Cup. Remember?
Yeah.
In
When we were there.
2019, they learned the South African national anthem. The Japanese.
Not surprised.
Yeah.
Tell us your story.
So, I,
Don't
so
not.
like I have this thing with there's this fashion brand called Kith that I've been
You're a brand ambassador, basically.
deeply
I wanna get it.
involved in
Right there,
right
on his
there.
for the
chest.
last
Can somebody
And
zoom
just
in
do
on
one of
that?
these. Just
Yeah.
do one of these.
for
There
the
we
last
go.
like
Those are the Beatles.
These are the Beatles. The Kith and the
Wow.
Beatles did a collab.
Wow.
So Liverpool, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So Ronnie, we're going to rewind this. So Ronnie Fick started Kith. It was, I think the story goes, he worked in a David Z. When he turned 13, he was Jewish, and his uncle wanted to get him a gift for his bar mitzvah. And he said, "Let me just work in a sneaker store," which was David Z in New York. And he started fitting sneakers for the Notorious B.I.G., Mace. So he grew up in my opinion, the greatest time of the culture, right?
Yeah.
And then he went on to open Kith years later. The story goes he was walking down the street in a Scotch and soda denim jeans that he had altered himself.
Yeah.
We have Scotch and soda here, right?
Yeah.
He flipped, he turned he made the bottom of the jeans, and someone told him, "You need to go and make fashion." And he did, and he opened Kith. And I went to this store in 2015 in New York, and I was just like, "This is home." Have you ever walked into a place like this? Is where
I feel like I have because I follow Donny on Instagram, so I've walked
it was
in that
like
store.
it was like where sneaker people came to just
Live.
and die of
Oxygen.
of- yeah,
It's
like
oxygen.
It was
It's
oxygen
oxygen.
for sneakerheads.
It sounds like Mike Tyson tried to say kiss.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Okay, I'm
Don't
leaving.
say it.
I'm a kid for you.
I'm a kid.
I'm gonna kiss you.
That's it exactly.
That's exactly where that brand name came
Yeah,
from. My
maybe
gosh.
maybe we need to research that.
Maybe Mike Tyson needs to be the brand
I think
ambassador.
Mike Tyson said,
all
"We're
about
gonna
the
name
kid."
that kiss." It's a kiss.
You've ruined it for me. Like, I can't
Beautiful
go
brand.
back.
That's my brand. Now you just made it a list.
I'm sorry.
So you've always been big into fashion, Don. Since I first met you, I remember pulling up and then you had, I think it was like Yeezys. What were you wearing?
I loved Yeezys, man. When
Yeah.
they came out, they were
This
the-
was like
I
2016.
would queue outside in the
Yeah.
snow. I wasn't snow, but it was
Yeah.
that cold in Joburg in 2016.
And I was like,
Never got
what
the
is my
raffles.
doctor wearing? Why is he not an old man
Why is he
sitting on the
looking
chair?
young?
Now he's wearing Yeezys.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, what's
There was
going
a
on?
time that Yeezys were great, right?
Yeah.
Before Kanye West really
Yeah.
had a meltdown, and hopefully we'll touch on mental health a little bit later.
Yeah.
But I think he needed an intervention. But Yeezys were great for
They were
years, right?
amazing.
Yeah.
That whole label was ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Everything about it was ahead of its time. And I've been
think
trying to
Kanye
show
West-
Chaka like sneakers and all that.
How does the sneaker currency?
Because when
work
I tell him,
quickly?
when I show him the prices, sometimes he's like,
It's
no ways.
wild, right? It's
No
wild.
ways.
Why
No
would I
ways.
do that? What are these dunk lows? And you like these dunk lows? And then
Somebody
he's like,
wanted to wear bootlegs with dark gloves on our podcast.
what was that blue one you mentioned? I was like, this is just a blue
Oh,
dunk
they
But
were
low.
you've been
UNC.
into sneakers. So
Yeah.
what is
Yeah.
your favorite? So
Yeah.
like Yeezys were great. Like what is your favorite go-to silhouette of all time? Like of all
Yo, I can't deny the Chicago
Put them on
AJ
ice.
ones
Yeah.
and put them on ice. So I'm
Yeah.
never going to wear them
Do
ever.
you have a pair?
I've-
You cannot confirm or deny.
Donny, I can't lie on set and camera. Unfortunately, I know there's sneakerheads who are going to come after me, but I try to get the highs and I just never, ever, ever got the Chicago highs. It was just out of my budget. And a mate of mine phoned me and said, listen, I'm here and they've got a pair of mid-Chicagos.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I know how this is controversial.
Yeah, this is controversial as hell.
Why is this controversial?
Because I bought a pair of mid-Chicagos. It's bad. What does that even mean?
bad.
It's bad. I've bought them. I own them. I'm happy to own them. But I also have a pair of Chicago split lows just to make it better.
Yeah.
And I have a pair of AJ1 Fearless.
Okay.
Which is the collab, you know, the
Yeah.
white, the blue and the UNC blue and
Yeah.
the red. So I'm proud of those.
Those are great sneakers to have.
But my favorite sneaker of all time that I would like to own is the shattered backboards.
Those are orange and black.
Those are orange and black, and those are beautiful. They like similar to this. Like, okay,
Very
more like
nice.
the
Yeah.
Ronaldo on the
Yeah.
backdrop there.
Yeah,
They-
okay.
AJ Jordan ones, they're
Yeah.
beautiful. If I get them, I will never ever let them touch the floor. No cap.
I've got the green croc lows.
Crocs are great. But just to put it in this context, what is the difference between an AJ high, like the original high, and
Yeah.
a mid? It's kind of like when you're in high school and you saw a hot girl and you couldn't get with her, but then you had to get her younger. Not
Oh, so you
good
settled.
looking.
You
You
settled.
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 I settled.
Oh.
And I had no choice, bro. I was pushing corporate back then. Like, I had rent,
But
boy.
you can't even find those. Like you can't even.
Yeah,
not even
well,
find
the amazing thing
those.
about those is
I
I've
know
never-
someone who has a pair.
What are those? The high
I
Chicago.
saw it on
mids.
Instagram today.
The
It's
mids.
ridiculous.
Really?
Okay, they
Yeah.
do work in the Kith stores. I think they got access to.
I think
like
those
the
are like,
special,
what is the price of
special-
like a Chicago now? Like 40? 30?
No, I'm gonna say like I haven't even looked. It must
30
be that
grand?
Stupid. It's a
Dude, in
stupid
this
amount
tough
of money.
economic time,
Boy, it's hectic, hey? I was just telling him how I cop off the Nike sites. I don't know if you've ever experienced that.
Yeah,
I
that
don't
rifle
like
thing.
it. It just fills me with
So
negativity.
I'm going to tell you something.
And shattered dreams.
I use 4 devices. I use 4 devices, right? And I told you the story about this. I use my MacBook Pro. I've got it there. I'm on the Nike site. I'm waiting for the drop. It's in 10 minutes. I've got my iPhone. I've got my dad's iPad. And I've got an old Samsung Galaxy Tab. Right.
Tell me you're copying it off the Samsung Galaxy.
I've
Because
copped once off the Samsung Galaxy Tab.
wow.
To all the people watching out there, like that's how you win on the sneakers.
Like, it didn't make sense to me because I've tried it with I don't know, it's just a myth though, guys. Please don't come after me.
No, it's
but
legit.
I've tried off the
It's the
MacBook
truth.
Pro. I've tried off everything. And the once I used the shitty tab, I got
What did-
into
what
the
did you
waiting
get?
room.
What did you get?
It was those brown Jordans that just got released now. I just
Okay.
wanted them because they look like the Travises.
Okay.
You know
So,
those mockers?
yeah,
they
the
look like the
mockers.
mockers.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? I'm going to put cream laces on these and they're not going to look the worst.
And they're gonna be fire.
But they're actually quite clean.
Can I
And it's
actually
nothing
quite
about
clean.
buying things retail because
Yeah.
then you don't have to deal with the resellers and
Yeah, can I just understand something? So this raffle thingy that you do,
Yeah.
it's about trying to get into the raffle to buy the
You
shoe.
don't win anything.
Yeah, so you just like, you win an opportunity to pay for the shoe.
There we go.
So Kith do this thing every Monday called Monday Program,
It's not
guys.
make
It
sure,
warps
guys.
my brain. I do that. I like phone. I'm like, guys, I have alarms on my phone at 5 to 5.
Yeah.
My Kith Monday program is dropping. I need the carpet, the watch.
But you haven't told me what's your favorite silhouette or shoe of all time.
Favorite shoe of all time.
You can give me a top 2 because I know it's a hard one. I understand. And you made me choose 1, so I'm giving you 2 because I'm being nice.
I'm gonna say the Donny Fick Gel Light 3 ASIC.
Get on Google. I don't know
That
what those
one
look like.
particularly. That one.
Are they Essex?
The 10-year homage pair.
Like Essex. Essex.
Yeah, Essex.
Oh wow. Okay. Those
Essex
cool.
are very loud, eh? Like when you
And
wear
this has,
Essex, you're like,
patches on it. And I think my second favorite, I don't know, like I feel like that one, and then the Kith Puma Sakuras. Also very.
you had to throw your kit. You've got a pair of Kith.
I've got
A few.
Kith.
Kiss me.
Oh, so yeah, back to my story. Back to my story. So I go to Japan this year.
Yeah.
My flight arrives at Narita Airport, which I didn't realize was like, I swear, a different province. It was that far on a train ride. And I was like, I need to make, I booked the hotels closest to the Kith store. It was like 300 meters away.
Yeah.
But I was like, they close at 8 and I need to get there. So I got out of the train station at 10 to 8 and I travel with a lot of luggage, this big bag. It's raining. And I've got like 6 minutes to get to the Kith store, right? And get an ice cream because I can't wait till tomorrow morning.
Yeah. All right.
Sprint up there, it's raining, and the security guard at the door tells me you can't come into the store with this big bag in the rain. And I'm like, oh man.
Can you hold it?
No, so I just like have this. I'm a very animated person, so I must probably just do this like, and I'm and then he was like, don't worry, he took an umbrella. He stood outside in the rain with my bag while I went to go eat an ice cream. And I was like,
If this was South Africa, goodbye to your luggage.
first of all,
Thanks
they
for
wouldn't
coming.
even they wouldn't have, I don't want to be dyslexic. So I'm not going to close the store at 10 to 8. Right?
Yeah,
I'm gonna be like, we're closed.
We're
it's
catching
done.
up.
We're catching up.
Nope.
Then they made me the ice cream, and then I tagged them in an Instagram post. And the person who made the ice cream responded saying, so sorry that was not our best because we were closing, so we were like not in the zone. But please come back tomorrow at 1 and we'll do it better for you. We'll give you the fully. Where do you get that level of? Needless to say, I was back at 5 to 1.
Yeah.
Ready, and that was maybe the best ice cream of my entire life. It's gonna go down in my mind as the best ice cream.
That ice
So,
cream machine
have
is
you
working.
become a soft serve connoisseur as well?
Sommelier, I don't know. I made up. I think like is that what you do for wine?
Yeah, wine connoisseur.
Yeah.
Sommelier. What?
Yeah, it's the people. You know when you go to the restaurant and they bring you the special wine menu.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I've never been to those restaurants. I won't even lie.
Josh
to you.
needs to take you,
Josh,
yeah.
please take me, bro.
I will.
Please.
We
Yeah.
also need
When
to
we
get
go to
this
Cape Town.
podcast to 100,000.
Yeah, we need 100,000. We need 100,000. Get
We're
on.
getting
Cool.
sommeliers.
So there's a few things that are gonna happen when we do those numbers.
Yeah.
Right. Firstly, we're gonna be
Merch.
happy.
Merch.
And we're gonna we are dropping merch.
We're dropping merch.
soon.
Okay, no,
We know about
yeah.
the merch is clothing.
From
merch is clothing.
Pepe.
Yeah, happy.
So
I don't care where it's from. Merch
We've
is
got
merch.
3 t-shirts and we've got 3 hoodies and we've got 3 pairs of shorts, all nice colorways. I'll give it away. We've got a cream colorway, triple cream. We've got a triple black.
Did you design it? Is this your?
I've designed.
This is the man.
With another guy named Chubbs, really cool guy.
Yeah.
He's big into it. We've got a triple black and we've got a royal green with a cream font. Really
Nice.
clean, really nice. I'm not gonna lie, we took a lot from Essentials in terms of look and
Nice.
feel.
But
And
that's a great brand.
Really good brand.
Clean, really good looking.
You know
stuff
what I
that
mean?
is.
And we're going for the baggy fit as well.
Love
you know what I
baggy
mean?
fit.
And
My wife doesn't like.
it's
baggy
kind of
fit. I can't.
Yeezy inspired because Chubbs is big into Yeezy. He's big into Kanye. Like
He's the
he's a
designer
Kanye man.
as
He's
well.
the designer. And we're hoping to get that for December out.
Nice. For
And
the summer.
we're actually gonna try and send a few to the guys we've interviewed. So we'll
Merch
be
is
hooking you
live.
up.
Sick.
So that's gonna be dropping soon. Yeah. So that
Yeah,
was
so I
my
do a
full
lot of those
statement.
things. I think what I've learned over time is that medicine's quite a demanding career, right? Like, and it's also very emotionally taxing. So if you don't have these outlets like the soft serve, like the fashion, I think that's been my saving grace.
Yeah.
I did a mentorship program yesterday with some UCT students, and I was like, I've been doing this for 22 years, like from medical student till now.
Yeah.
And it does jade you, right? Like you see a lot of death, dying, disease, suffering. So you need some sort of way to just
Yeah.
escape, but constructively, like not substances, not some of the bad stuff. So I deep dive into like fashion, sneakers, ice cream, coffee. I think those would be
Yeah.
The ones to
those
go
would be
to.
the ones that I quite
But
enjoy.
it's
And then
a-
when I do it, I go like
You go all in.
Like it's all in.
But it's a lot for me, and I always have this conversation with my significant other, right? Death,
Yeah.
right? For me, like as an outsider, when you say someone died, and I think maybe for you as well, you're like, whoa, you know? And like for the doctors I've met, and I've got mates that are doctors as well, for them it's become so common, you know? And what one of them said to me is like, unfortunately, you've got to detach yourself. Like you can't get as into it as you would be.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, but I also believe that it's like there's like a slow poison effect here as well.
Yeah.
Like that you do lose a lot of your humanness over time.
Sure.
I mean, my wife sat me down last year. Was it last year? Like sort of after 3 years of intense COVID where I worked at Mill Park Hospital, like a big center for this, and there was a lot of death and dying. And she was like,
Yeah.
you're not the same person. Like if you don't change something, if you don't change who you are, I might not be here next week. To which my first response was like, get your lawyer to phone my lawyer.
No.
Like, you know,
You thought it was a joke.
I don't know. I'm like, come on. Like we're out here saving lives.
you're
Don't
under
come to me
pressure,
giving
yeah.
grief
Yeah,
about
yeah.
this kind of stuff. But then I sat back eventually, like trying to be mature about this and be like, yeah, like you do become detached and you do lose your humanness. So you do become snappier. You don't care. And I think since I then decided, you know, I don't need to leave that space. I don't think it's good for my mental health and start enjoying life more and doing constructive things where I don't lose my humanness. I've really embarked on these projects where I really try and encourage people to make the most of your life. Like I think I was surrounded by death and dying for a long time. And you work in a trauma, you know, where you realize, like, can I say this shit happens, right? Like it does. And like you are 5 to an accident. Like some of the people we saw woke up that morning, they had great plans and something caught on fire and they got burned. And so I think that's what drives this hunger to keep on doing things and keep on maximizing every opportunity because I think vicariously I've seen how that can go wrong.
Sure.
So you're like, guys, you only have today. Like make the most of it. Like enjoy your life. Like it's not gonna
All you
last
have.
forever.
Mental health, Doc, you just touched on it now. What was it like for doctors during COVID? I'm sure some of them were like, you know what, after this,
I'm out.
I'm not doing this.
I thought I was gonna die during COVID.
Yeah.
Really?
Like it was weird. Like remember there was a time before vaccines.
Yes.
Kind of like I remember like I needed to get a new car for my wife. This was in the beginning of COVID. And I was like, when I signed the papers for it, I was like, we also need an insurance policy for when I die. Like, I was like, and the guy was like, what do you mean when you? I was like, guys, we're out here. And I think because we were working in the hospital, we were seeing the patients in the ICU. It was rough.
What
It was
was that
real,
like
right?
though?
It was-
Like
I think
when
I blocked
COVID
that out of my
started,
mind.
what was it like being a doctor on the front line?
It was exciting for the first 2 weeks.
Really?
You were like, you know, people were blowing vuvuzelas. You're the only one that could drive your car. You're like,
Yeah.
this is exciting. We get to go and save lives. I
Sure.
think maybe I speak for a small percentage. Like, it was always my dream as a doctor to be like that little bit gun-ho-ish. Like, we like soldiers on the front line. And then it became tiring very quickly. Like, once the shine wore off and it became real.
Were the hospitals really getting full? Because the conspiracy theorists were saying hospitals are really not full. People are fine.
No. I have 2 images in my head that I think will live with me forever. I wish I could print them out and put them on canvases. Like, the one day I walked into Mill Park and I had like 10 to 7. And they had all the mortuary vans just lined up. There's like a ramp that goes down.
Get the hell out.
Just to pick up the bodies from the night before. And you'd be in these WhatsApp groups. They're like,
I've got like goosebumps.
60 people admitted last night, 30 people died. And this was like the daily like progress reports that you're getting. And you just see these black bags being wheeled out. I think that was one of the images. And I think in the Delta wave, where the hospitals were so full, they stopped operating theaters. They turned the theaters into ICUs. And they were dripping people through the windows in the parking lot of their cars because there's just no space. Nice. And then I was like, we're in it now.
This
and I
is
think
real.
I was emotionally exhausted, physically exhausted, but you just had to keep going.
Yeah.
And we had lost friends, colleagues.
That's when it got real, though.
No,
when stats became names.
Yeah.
Then I was like,
I feel like, like I'm getting a bit emotional now. Like they were really, we've come a long way.
Really?
They were dark days.
So, okay.
I think I needed to get out. I think, like, I remember saying this to my like life coach at the time, and someone that was always a sounding board to me. I was like, I need to get out of the space and start doing pretty things for a while. Like seeing pretty pictures, pretty faces, and like, but like, you get so run
Your
down
wife
by
was your
like,
wallpaper.
like,
That's fine.
Like just death, dying, and suffering. And I was like, I need to leave this space for now and just do happy things.
But you didn't want to leave the profession.
And I think medicine's such a big scope. Like you can do lots of things. Like people do aesthetics. They don't deal with the death and dying. You could do corporate medicine. You can do. I've done idols. I've done singing medicine. So you just like rechannel that energy to something more enjoyable. And will I go back? Most probably I will. At some stage, I think I will go back to that space, maybe. But for now, it's family practice, GP time, and really pushing the mental health narrative.
Yeah.
And sunscreen and what did you call it? Eczema.
Eczema. That thing's a pandemic as well. Let's talk about that. That thing troubles me.
So I was like, okay, we're going to talk about like eczema, sunscreen, mental health.
You asked me what's the lowdown, so I was just like, let me think about it. Eczema.
So that's what I said. Like for the next maybe year, that's like really the 4 topic areas that I really want to just get involved in.
What are you doing in the mental health side of things?
So I had this brainchild of starting this movement called Don't Run Away.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. Like I do quite a lot of running, and my wife runs more than I do, and I run after, and that's how we kind of stay married. But
And fit.
But it was to like, I always encourage people and patients that like movement definitely helps with your mental health.
Sure.
But like people go, how do I move? Then we're like, I come to a running club. We run 10Ks on a Sunday. And if you've never done that before, it's very intimidating.
Yeah, 10Ks, that's a bit of a stretch.
So you start, and we started by just doing a walk around the block for 1 kilometer. And then we'll have a chat about have normal people just talking about their day-to-day struggles, because we all struggle, right? Like we can't sit here and say we don't. And their struggles, and that became very relatable. So we've done 2 events. The first one, we thought 25 people can come. 50 people ended up coming. The second one, we catered for 50 people. 70 people came. And I just saw that there's a really, really big need to just speak about it. I have this thing of like destigmatizing mental illness really reduces the barrier to entry. I think people will much sooner go and seek treatment and seek help if there wasn't the stigma attached.
So you're not a psychologist?
No.
But what's your role in that? It's just driving that movement.
Human being. I think that's the thing I was saying. Like, look, my name's Donny, and off the back of COVID and just life in general, I've battled with dark days and high anxiety and feelings of like inadequacy at times. We all go through these things. And I was like, these are like, I'm just being open about it. Like, yes, I love the fashion. I love being a bubbly person, but we're human and we have bad days too. So I'm not pretending to be perfect. I'm not pretending to have all my shit under control. But I walk and I run, and it tries helps me de-stress, and just let's do it together. Like we're all on this boat called life, and let's just kind of help each other.
And you've got a range of people on that thing, because my Instagram, there were like a mate of mine posted that he was there, and then I was like, whoa.
Who was that?
It was Wang.
Oh, Wang is
And I was like, whoa, this is so sick, because I felt like it was something, because mental health, especially in the older generations, didn't exist.
Yeah.
You know
grew
what
up
I
in
mean?
that generation of like, you're not praying hard enough.
Yeah.
Read your Bible.
Yeah, sure.
We all go through tough times. Suck it
Yeah,
up.
sure. Like man up.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's-
It was one of
that's
those.
kind
Yeah.
No,
Sorry,
I'm saying
you got a
it
question?
existed, but it didn't exist. I mean,
We can
obviously it
talk
was
about
there.
it, right?
Yeah.
Like I think
Yeah.
that was...
Before you talk about it, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Sorry.
You loaded, yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious because I want to know what is mental health. The reason why I asked this question is
It's a very good question.
yeah, the
right?
reason why I asked what is mental health is because you can have a spectrum where the moment they feel sad, they would attach that to depression, attach that to a mental health situation. Where you have another spectrum where I would put the sadness on a similar scale, where it's a thing where you're like, all right, today I'm upset, I'm having a bad day.
Yeah.
Tomorrow will be a better day. Like, let's just say you deal with it in that state of view and you forego that depression side of it. Now, with mental health becoming a big thing and obviously becoming a big conversation, what's stopping me to say I've got mental health problems when I have a bad day at work and I'm just feeling stressed out? Or do I have a mental health issue? I don't know.
So I think the answer to that question is multifaceted, right?
Yeah.
I think there's the medical diagnosis, which is governed by something called the DSM-4 criteria. So there's that. There's actual guidelines and things that you need to, like boxes you need to tick, and then you get the diagnosis of depression or generalized anxiety disorder or personality disorder. So that gets made by a psychiatrist. And then I think there's the cultural term of mental health. And I think this is what's being pushed around a lot on social media and in the culture at the moment. And I think mental health means different things to everyone. But I think it's important that we try and put things into like a little bit more perspective. And for me as a doctor, I say the moment these feelings start impacting your day-to-day function, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
So if you have a bad day, fine, we all have bad days. But if those bad days become 3 or 4 days and all of a sudden you find yourself not sleeping well or consuming more alcohol or not wanting to go to work, that's when we need to start addressing the problem.
Then it becomes a problem.
Then it becomes a problem. Because, having a bad day, I mean, we all have that. But when all of a sudden you needing to have 3 glasses of wine to cope with your bad day, or you need painkillers chronically for your headaches, or you sit in your car. What's that meme? You sit in your car and you psych yourself up for 45 minutes to go into work. That's when... So when you can't complete day-to-day tasks or your day-to-day functioning gets impacted by these things, I think that's when we've moved away from this culture thing of I have mental health things because I've had a bad day, and we move more to the DSM-4 criteria of this is actually a diagnosis now.
No, sure.
Yeah, and it's so difficult. You know, you have to be sensitive with that topic because I'm thinking, you know, maybe this person doesn't have the DSM-4 criteria and they've come to you like, Donny, oh shit, bro.
Yeah.
I had 3 glasses of wine yesterday instead of 1. What's wrong with me?
And I think navigating the mental health space needs courageous conversations. And I think this is the part that I think is lacking. So I think people are like, mental health is important. We need to be advocates for mental health. And I totally agree with that. But I also think we need to have real conversations about it. And I think how we better a society is like groups of friends, families, and small communities have people that will hold you accountable. So it's one thing to have a bad day and say, I suffer from mental health, but that doesn't excuse you from certain things. And I think it's important for your friends to be, Donny, what you're doing is not okay. And you need to go and get yourself checked out. Like, you're drinking too much. Like, you abusive. You this, that, and the other. And I think that's where people, I feel like, shy away from the courageous conversations, right? Where they don't want to take accountability and be like, you know what? I'm actually responsible for my own life. It's not what my wife did or my kids did, but I need to take responsibility for healing. I need to put my hand up and say, I've made a few mistakes, or I'm not doing okay. I want to seek help. And I think that's important. I think it's a mixture of sensitivity and courageous conversations, and finding that balance is so important.
Silly question. Once, if I say to you, okay, Donny, you need to sort your life out, you're over drinking and stuff like that, and you take that in, we've had the courageous conversation, and the next day you change. Are you healed of mental health, or do you still think Donny needs to go and see somebody?
I think it's a journey and not a destination.
Right.
I think the moment people say I'm healed, I don't know. I personally don't like that, and people can disagree with that opinion, and I'm happy for that. But I think it's about constantly working at yourself. It's about constantly every morning going, these are the weaknesses. I have a temper. I'm not going to throw my golf clubs in the pond today. When
He did that on Saturday.
Look at
I
us
feel like
moving
you're
back.
showing symptoms.
Okay.
He's showing symptoms.
Donny,
bro.
no.
He's showing
no,
symptoms.
Donny, no.
He had a rough day at the golf course, and that's exactly what
Guys,
happened.
That does not make
So
me
you
have
can't
a
be like,
mental health problem.
but you can't play one round of golf and not throw your clubs and be like, I'm healed.
Yeah.
I'm healed. I don't have anger issues anymore.
Sounding like him, man.
Guys, okay,
I
this
think-
is
I think
this is
he's-
touching me.
I think
This
you
is
just-
really.
I think
This is really. I do.
I think you just need to go
Okay,
chat to
this is-
someone right now.
I'm really feeling this
You
now.
feeling it? Now he's like,
When you came with that golf analogy,
that golf analogy hit you in your
it
chest.
did,
Yeah,
but,
that touched
but I
you
need to
right there.
clarify. I need to clarify. Okay.
Talk to me about this.
When we do these things to escape, so let's say golf for instance, and
I don't get why people, I think golf might be one of the more frustrating ways.
Yeah, but what's wrong?
Whoa,
with
Donny, you're on touchy ground. No, just be careful what you say about golf here.
Donny, what's wrong with being frustrated?
100%.
Yeah. So I think it's okay. I think it's like punching a punching bag.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. I play because I need to take some frustrations out. If I play badly, I'm frustrated. Yes, I've thrown my clubs before. Okay, but that doesn't mean now I've got a problem.
I feel like it does.
I feel like we shouldn't be throwing golf clubs.
Yeah.
right?
Guys, but it's a
problem.
release. It's a release. I throw it. I'm pissed off. I pick it up. I move on. I have a pep talk
This
to
is
myself.
golden.
I have a pep talk to myself and I move on.
So what triggers you? At what stage are you like, I'm throwing this club now?
Because I know that golf is an individual sport. I should have been better and I've made that mistake. So it is my fault. So I'm going to throw my club.
So there we go. Like you need to be kinder to yourself, right? Like,
Kinda.
kinder.
Okay,
Chaka.
this is not going to turn into.
I feel like this is a.
be kinder to
We
yourself.
need to
That's
sit
why
you
my
down
hobbies
now.
just involve buying t-shirts.
But I
and stuff,
can't-
'cause I get frustrated when I don't copy it on the internet and then I
Yeah, and then you
You've
gotta
seen
pay
how
the
easy-
resale.
Have you ever thrown a pair of sneakers before? In a
Yeah,
store?
but-
Has he thrown something at home before?
Yeah, thank
a
you.
pair of sneakers in a gift store yet? But I
Yeah,
mean,
I won't lie. So everybody's got their different types of anger.
Yeah.
Anger.
When since I was small, I would break shit.
This guy's actually just coming out with
I'm just going to tell you. I'm going to tell you the truth. Don't
You
answer-
heard a doctor's coming and you said free consult. You said free consult. I don't need to go pay for this shit. I've got it covered.
I break stuff. And
Really?
yeah, man. But
Like,
I-
what's the
but I
worst thing
don't-
you've broken?
But I don't
Yeah.
break.
What's the
people.
most expensive thing you've broken? That's what I want.
Yeah, let's hear this. Because this will explain a lot.
This is the source.
What have you broken?
This is going to make you laugh. It was my Xbox controller. Okay, easy, everybody.
Are those more? I don't know.
No,
a lot
he's
about
quite
golf.
bad at FIFA,
Yeah.
so I can understand.
I haven't broken anything from golf, so I've thrown it.
Yeah.
So
That's a problem.
So look, but
Donny,
here's
Donny,
what I'm trying to
just
say,
take the
Donny.
notepad out and take him down.
No, Donny,
Just
Phone
take
me
it.
tomorrow.
Guys,
There's
the
the problem.
point I'm trying to make is I will break it, I will breathe.
Don't you feel bad afterwards? Like, now I have to go spend $3,000 or I don't know how much a controller costs.
No,
Now I'm buying a
I
controller.
don't feel bad at all.
I think you should bill him after this because
Yeah.
this podcast has become. This has become.
This is a mental health conversation because I'm trying to say I don't want to be. I don't want somebody to see me on the golf course throwing a golf club that's not too far, just a little 5 meters,
Quick one.
and saying that guy's got a mental health issue.
This guy's giving mad.
I don't feel like I have a mental health issue, so that's why I was asking what is the definition? Because there's some days where I'm pissed off, but when I'm pissed off, but it's pissed off in an action that I'm doing, but I don't use alcohol to relax or
Fair.
other substances. To your point, but I'm angry. And I think that's a feeling that people need to feel. And I find
100% agree. It's how you manifest that anger, right? Like that's.
I think we need to you need to maybe see Donny after this
Yeah,
episode again.
Okay, I'm gonna flip that question to you and be like,
Yeah.
so you big United fan. So what happens if you saw like
Whoa.
every time who plays for United now? Like that's good.
Sure.
Bruno Fernandes.
yeah.
Bruno Fernandes, every time a decision doesn't go his way, he kicks the ball up and
He
throws,
gets upset.
Yeah, you see, you can't have that as well, right?
Yeah, it's a
You'd also be
problem.
like, that's not cool, Bruno.
Not cool, Bruno.
Stop kicking the ball.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna say you've got a mental health issue.
You're just gonna be like, maybe he's just got an anger issue.
Yeah, okay. There, I'll take
Yeah.
that. I'll take that. Let's move on. Thank you. I've got an anger issue when it comes to certain things, but not everything.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm calm. Like
What's your
when-
handicap?
Hey, come on. Take him out. Hey, put him on this table. What is his handicap? What's your handicap?
I've never played golf in my. I've never.
Are you a scratch golfer?
I'm not disclosing my private life.
I've never ever been on a golf course to play a round of golf. Never in
Come
my.
play with
40
us.
Come play with us,
Play with
Donny.
us. Enjoy yourself.
I might end up throwing
bad.
golf clubs.
No,
I'm
I
bad.
Donny, I won't throw any golf.
I'll be
golf
there for
clubs.
the clothing, man.
It'll be-
The
it's nice.
fashion.
The clothing
It's
is
nice.
nice.
It
No,
is
the
nice.
clothing is nice.
It is
That's
nice.
the one.
Oh, wait.
What is it like? Titless.
Tightlist.
Yeah. There you go.
Titlist.
Titless.
Titless.
Tightlist.
game without tits. We can't be playing that game.
Some guy right now listening to this was like, what? Wait, what?
Yeah.
Callaway, TaylorMade, all
So
of
how much
those.
do golf clubs
Jordan,
cost?
they're
I've got a pair.
expensive.
I've got a pair of Jordan golf shoes now
What do golf
that I'm
clubs
yet
go
to
for?
debut.
Okay, so
So
let
if
me
you want to enter into this golf,
let me give
Please
you
tell
an
him
example.
what you said to me about golf clubs.
Let me give
firstly.
you an example. Josh's 2 pair of Dunk Lows, whatever.
You're speaking
those-
sneaker terms.
Yeah.
In sneaker
Travis
terms.
Scott, Dunk Low.
Josh's 2 pairs of Dunk Lows will give you enough golf clubs and bag and everything to make you a single handicapper.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah, that's 2 pairs of his
But like, what
Dunk
is that in
Lows.
rands?
15 grand.
Okay, so you need 15 grand if you want to
Let's just say.
But you
if
can. I bought a pair for like 5.
Yeah, 15 grand brand new.
Okay.
Brand
Alright.
new. But
Cool,
I got a
you will-
starter pack.
We always we start off cheaper.
Yeah, start off
obviously,
cheaper.
Used clubs and stuff like that.
Okay.
and he
then-
breaks some
No,
sometimes. So
I
he's
haven't
got to go
broken
cheaper.
anything. I haven't broken.
So what's the
anything.
go-to brand? So who's making the fire?
Yeah, who's making the fire? You haven't
Who's
told
making
me.
the great
Jordan's
golf
got some amazing stuff.
So
Like
I-
Fashion or by like
fashion,
clubs?
fashion. Like
Okay, fashion. I
Yeah.
don't know because I'm worried about playing. So I like Callaway.
Okay.
All right, it's a preference.
Yeah.
I like the way it hits. I'm just comfortable with that. And I would like to try some others, but it's very hard to switch. It's very difficult.
Really?
And no, I'm not just talking
Like brands?
I'm not talking brands. I'm talking clubs.
Oh, okay.
It's not easy. So just because you're using a Callaway now, that Titleist new range actually might be better for your swing. Might be So if you're starting and you really want to take it seriously, you go to those things called club fittings, where you go and they say, okay, hit the ball with this club, hit the ball with this club, hit the ball with this club. This club favors you in this way, and then they'll say, all right, you get the TaylorMade. Whatever. Yeah. So that's that.
It's one of those.
Back to mental health.
Okay, we're back now. We
What?
come back. You feel calmer now?
Yeah,
we're
I'm
ready
calm.
to talk
Well,
about
nothing's
it.
broken.
Yeah, the glass is still.
The glasses are empty
Glasses still
though.
intact.
I don't have tea.
What's the long-term goal for your thing
Career.
that you're doing in mental health?
Oh, you
Yes.
don't run away.
The don't run away. Yeah. What's the long-term
Just
goal?
having those courageous conversations, and so people will feel comfortable
Sure.
owning their mental health space. I think that's the long-term goal. If you change, it's an age-old adage of it. If you just change one life along the way, then you've done a lot.
Amazing.
For sure.
For sure.
I don't have big goals, right? Like I've never been a person that has like these over-the-top goals, but I think if we can just change 1 or 2 lives, if we can prevent one person from committing suicide, taking their life, I think then I'll be happy.
And my last question on this: what made you want to start? Like deep down inside, what made you say, you know what?
Yeah.
I gotta try and make a difference for people. Maybe it was affecting you in some
So
shape
obviously
or
you see
form.
all the patients in your practice coming in, and then you see, and I've worked a lot in the entertainment industry, and I think like I knew Double HP was a patient of mine. Like I knew Ricky from Bromfontein. Like you see all these people that lived what we thought great lives. I mean, I remember seeing Ricky meet Lewis Hamilton at a Gucci fashion show. I was like, this guy has made it, but we didn't know the struggles that he had behind closed doors.
Sure.
And we're like, if he just spoke about it, if he just talked about it, someone could have helped him. Why did it have to get to that
That point.
And if we just had people speak, I mean, I've had conversations with, Lala Iriyama, like we've had, these are all people that have battled with these things. And I just feel like if we talk about it, someone will be like, I don't have to suffer in silence. I can talk about it as well.
And that's what you were like.
That's what sparked it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I just think there's a big need for it.
Yeah.
I think.
And I think
Agreed.
the more we start to speak about these things, the more comfortable people
Yeah.
become with realizing that there's a problem.
I'm trying to remember the guy's name. Is it Razi Ahmed? the big HIV activist in the early 90s, man. He was like, I remember I was like, you turn on the news and he'd be there. He'd have this white t-shirt with HIV in a purple box logo. That's where it started. And he was just like, guys, the more we talk about HIV, the less people feel ashamed about it, right? And I feel if we think of how we've come such a long way with HIV, I remember when I was a medical student in California, people would die of AIDS all the time, right? Like the medication, the people now coming for testing and treatment has come so far in 20 years. I think that's been one of the biggest things I've seen in my career is how well we now manage HIV. And it all started with people breaking down the stigma.
100%. The stigma.
People were dying in their thousands in 2005 when I was still as a student in a government hospital because they just were too ashamed to get tested. They would rather, they wouldn't, the stigma was too much.
The fear killed them.
Yeah. And then now that people are on treatment, they live really good lives.
They
so
live
I feel
for
like
long, yeah.
if we've got this framework and it's worked with HIV and it's been destigmatized to a certain extent, can't we do the same?
Yeah, sure.
For mental illness.
100%.
I think
Maybe
we
that
can.
is the long-term goal. I said I don't have big goals. Maybe I do have big goals.
there you go.
I just don't say it.
I think that's possible. I think it is something that can be done. What I would like though is, some people might have HIV and they might have cancer, but they don't want to talk about it, but they still will get the treatment.
Yeah.
Now, someone might have a depression and mental health thing. Don't force them to talk about it. Just let them seek the help. And what do you mean come out? They don't need to. What I mean is
They don't have to get onto Instagram.
no,
that's not what we want.
That's
That's not what we
speak
want.
to someone that you trust.
We just
Yes,
we just want
yes,
people to go
yes.
like, I don't have to be ashamed.
Yes,
I don't have to be ashamed.
yes.
I'm not like get onto an Instagram live.
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
my name's Donny. Look at me. I'm depressed. And
So
I don't want people documenting their panic attack on social media.
Exactly.
They've gone too far.
And I think that was my perception.
Yeah.
To be
No,
honest,
I'm
and
just like,
I'm so
go
glad,
and-
glad we're having this
I'm just like
conversation.
go and just be like don't have the thing of like my doctor's gonna judge me if I go to.
Yes.
Do you know how many patients I see that are like they'll start the conversation so sheepishly and they'll be like I don't know what to say, but I'm not sleeping well and I'm drinking too much and I watch way too much pornography. Is there something wrong? It's taken me 6 months to get to this point where I want to talk about it. And I'm like, no, I wish you came sooner. Like they're like, but I was so shy and I was so scared that you, as the healthcare professional, was going to judge me. So maybe even just talking about it on this podcast, I'm like, there's a few plans. We need to change this a little bit. Like, and I think for healthcare practitioners to come on and be like, come and talk to us professionally. We don't judge you. We're here to help. I think that's the big take-home.
It's so interesting because when you actually think about it, healthcare professionals, when you've got an operation, you go under. And they can see your balls.
You lying there naked,
They can
right?
see, they can see your balls. They can see every insecurity you would have in public.
Of all the things you picked the balls.
Guys, am I not? Please tell me if I'm talking
the
rubbish.
real stuff.
Yeah,
You're talking
the facts of it.
The fact you are laying the balls on the table.
Exactly. So
But that's the worst. Imagine if you have a softie and now you're parking there. Now the dog's like, damn,
But that's exactly it. I mean, they'll be like,
So you're right. I
need
get
to
what you're
see
saying.
someone.
You need to see all your physical vulnerabilities.
yeah.
But why not? Why not?
Why not the emotional ones?
because that's like on the inside. Like people don't want to talk about those things.
So what I think you're right. Like and now I'm making notes in my head. Like yes, we just want people to come in, and I think it's important for healthcare practitioners to advocate this as well. And maybe not so much influencers because you're right. We don't want people having breakdowns on
Yes.
Instagram.
Yeah, please.
But we don't judge you. Come and talk to us. Come and seek professional help.
So many people suffer in silence. And I
No,
think
you're
that's
right.
the biggest problem worldwide, And that's why
suffering.
people take their lives eventually because they feel
Just
like there's
gets
no
too
way
much.
out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You bottle it up, and then, that's it.
Damn. And the skincare, the skincare thing that you're doing with L'Oreal.
That was a
I can
crazy-
see you
that was
glowing,
a-
Donny.
Look, I look,
Are you
that's why I
using
look.
it?
That's why I look 26.
You look great, bro.
No,
What's
so it was
going on
quite an
there?
interesting conversation, man. It was like they came to me and they're like, "We want to do TikToks. We want to get skincare on a social media." I'm like, "I am not your person." And I went to my wife. I was like, "I can't believe these people want me to do TikToks." And she was like,
sure.
You of all people, and
Yeah.
that's how it started.
Yeah.
And then it's just evolved over a year and a half, and like we get to do really good work. We really get to. I think we had this discussion off air that like, and I think it tied to what we said earlier. Is like so many people don't have access to healthcare in this country, but so many people don't have access to proper information. I mean, there's a lot of information on social media. How much of it is factual and good? And we just started an education campaign for like xerosis, which is dry skin, and eczema and atopic dermatitis. And we didn't realize how well it was going to do. Now we're sitting with this project that's doing so well and we're impacting lives. And I mean, simple things like if you've got eczema and you're scratching yourself to pieces every day, your quality of life's not good. And like, just by getting people to use the right emollients or the right bathing techniques, like don't lay in the bath for 2 hours, your skin dries out. I mean, it's great listening to some Usher and
Himalayan salt.
In the mode.
But yeah, so I'm very much aligned with trying to just get education out there, whether that's skincare, sun damage, mental health, soft serve, coffee, I don't know.
Skincare, sun damage for us with darker pigmentation.
Yes.
The when
there's a fancy word. It's called Fitzpatrick skin types.
There you go. So I've got that's
Fitzpatrick.
I would have called it Kumalo or something, but whatever. I mean, Fitzpatrick sounds Irish.
Kumalo.
He's got nothing to do with this. But anyway, Fitz, the perception we've got is we don't need sunscreen.
Yeah. What a myth we need to bust.
Yeah,
right?
we do not need sunscreen. And we live in Africa, so our forefathers and stuff, they've grown through this, so our skin is absolutely fine in this climate.
Yeah.
So why do I need to go spend 400 Rand on skin products when I feel actually absolutely fine?
Yeah. So this, I'm just going to spit some interesting facts like that.
Hit it.
The UV rays in the southern hemisphere is much more damaging than the northern hemisphere. So we've already got a problem there. We've overtaken Australia in the skin cancer capital of the world. So we've got a skin cancer problem in South Africa. And it's about busting that myth that because we've got more melanin doesn't mean we need sunscreen. We do.
Yes.
Even if it doesn't protect, so the darker Fitzpatrick skin types or the darker skin complexions are less likely to develop skin cancers as opposed to the lighter ones.
Okay.
However, you still get aging. Like the more exposed to the sun without sun protection, you'll age, you'll wrinkle, you'll get hyperpigmentation, all of those things. Like when you turn 40, you don't want that. You want to look like Josh.
I had an auntie
Josh at
who used
44.
to do all the sun tanning nonsense all the time.
Or putting those bronzing oils.
Yeah.
We have come
Bro,
a
I
long
promise
way.
you, I saw her after 5
Donald
years and I
Versace.
was like, yo, bro,
What?
you age like milk. She started she looks 100.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, exactly what you're saying, that sitting in the sun and tanning
No, you
the
need
whole
to be-
time.
But we also grew up in an era where we worship the sun, right? We go beach, put the, I don't even know, puts buzzing oils on our skin.
Sure.
Burn, the darker, the bronzer you are, the better it is. Now, you see kids beach hat.
Yeah. The
Full
irony.
kit.
Yeah.
I used to be painted, bro. My mom used to
Yeah.
Nivea the hell
But
out
we
of
only
me.
used to wear sunscreen when we went to the beach, right?
For
But
sure,
now
yeah.
we're trying to advocate that you should actually wear it
Daily.
every day because
Wait a
UVA
minute.
rays.
Really?
I wear it every day,
I put
every
it on my
morning.
face every morning.
Same, Bioderma.
But now is it not?
I'm not gonna say it.
Is that your enemy?
No, it's not. We do not have enemies in this
Yes.
game.
no, but it's just the one I've been using,
It's
you
a
know.
great product.
Yeah.
It's a very,
Thank
very
you.
good product. Well,
But Donny's like, yo, I'm hitting out of this.
it's a
Yeah.
great product
Why do you need sunscreen every day?
to protect you against those deep penetrating UVA rays that cause photo aging, wrinkles, and hyperpigmentation.
Yeah, for sure.
So you want to look young. Beige don't age.
Yo, black don't crack.
Oh, guys, but
you know what I mean?
disposable income. Yeah, guys.
Come on, it's sunscreen. You break golf clubs
mean,
and stuff.
that's-
This
Yeah.
is cheaper, bro.
That's-
You put
this is-
sunscreen on when you go play golf.
Okay,
I am about to cringe.
My wife makes me do that.
Well done.
Thank you. For
Okay,
your wife.
but let's
Thank you for the wife.
Okay, we talk about it because where exactly do you put it on? Where's
So-
face,
face definitely.
Nick,
Ears,
arms,
arms, and the sun exposed areas. Yeah,
right? And
but it's also wear a hat. There's also other.
we do wear
my
hats.
goodness. So now we got to be. You're gonna make us afraid of going out in the sun.
No,
yeah.
I'm not
No,
saying
not
stick
at
to
all.
the necessary precautions.
Okay, and
Wow.
also on top of that, the added benefit is you look younger.
Yeah,
Wow.
you'll thank me when you're 40.
So what happens to the white guys when they go red?
They're burning. So you need.
So they're burning.
So studies show that you need 5 severe sunburns in your life.
Yeah.
You look like Paloma.
Sorry, I'm just looking. Are we looking at our producer?
Our
You
producer
need-
gets red.
Yeah.
You need 5 severe sunburns in your life to increase your risk of malignant melanoma or carcinoma
hectic.
by 2%.
Describe what is a severe sunburn
Like when you go red.
and you're peeling.
Yeah, that's already a severe sunburn. And
Oh my
hectic.
gosh.
I mean, people have had 5 of this.
Yeah.
5 of those episodes this year.
Yeah.
So they need to.
I've had that before. Now I'm stressing.
So
Yeah, I also once did that. I've done it a few times. I think I've got 1 life left.
what the hell? But what about the guys who get red indoors?
Like under the lights.
This is a genuine
That's
question.
why we say you should wear sunscreen
Okay.
all the day, all
Even
day,
in the
every
pause,
day.
if the TV's too bright now,
Even when you're working from home.
Even in the pause, I have not heard that expression for a while.
Oh, sorry, we from KZN. That's like normal. That's normal chat. Where you mom at Posey? Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Put your sunscreen on in the posy. Does that?
Yeah,
I
there we
sound
go.
like a tourist.
So
right?
how do you balance all of this, Donny?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
Zest for life, high energy, and my
Because
favorite.
you're running, you're eating ice cream, you're having coffee, you're vlogging your wife.
Yeah, we are buying sneakers, and
You buying
And I
sneakers?
still have an 8 to 5 medicine
Yeah.
job.
And you still travel.
yeah, it's
a lot, bro.
It's
Some-
a great.
Some people have 24 hours, some have 48. It's a
But
fact.
as I said, you just make you.
just make it
I'm
do.
trying to suck as much out of this life experience.
Yeah, for sure.
As I can. Coffee does help.
Coffee. Yeah.
Coffee.
Yesterday we
I'm
went
gonna
to have
say,
coffee.
You came all the way from KZN.
We came all the way.
I'm gonna unashamedly say that the best coffee in the world is here in Rosebank at
Yes.
Father Coffee. I'm gonna name drop on this
It's
podcast.
divine. It's divine. We had it.
We had the Don.
Father
We had the
Coffee.
Don yesterday.
That
it
is,
was amazing.
it is. I mean, they
Life-changing.
started from like a small little roastery in Bromfontein
Yeah.
to Rosebank to the mothership in Cromerville. Like, I mean, it's been, shout out to them. It's the 10th birthday this year.
Wow.
It's 10 years
Happy
of Father
10, guys.
Coffee. It is.
Sick.
Last year we had 10 years of Kith, 10 years of Father. It's a great time to be alive.
When Doc, when people see you, like when you become doctors, family members, and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Donny, we
Yeah,
got a
all the
cough
time.
here.
Especially in brown culture. That happens a lot.
all the time. It's
Auntie,
like, I
Auntie
avoid
Meryl's got a
family.
back pain. Can you check it? She got a blister on her bum.
you go to a blind and hey, just check my armpit. Yeah, there's a problem.
I used to work in plastic surgery for a while. It got even worse.
What
And
the
then-
heck? Your range is amazing, bro.
So I used to assist this plastic surgeon. And when I used to go to like these functions, people would be like, do you think I need a tummy tuck? Do you think I need a boob job? I mean, I have seen,
plastic surgery.
I have seen more aunties requesting a boob job at a Christmas
hectic.
function. than-
Really?
yeah.
Did you have to do like a checkup there?
I'm just like, no, I take my glasses off, then I can't see anything. I'm like, I can't. No, I'm joking.
And your wife's like, say less, bro. Say less.
Yeah.
Sure. So you
But that
get
follows you realize I used to be quite angry about that in my 20s
Yeah,
and 30s
yeah.
and my 40s. I'm like, what's my favorite phrase? You can't take the pundits without taking the plaudits. Is what you have it the wrong way
Yeah,
around.
I've never heard it, so it's chilled.
So you can't take the praise without taking the criticism.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
like you can't enjoy the benefits and medicine has given me so many great opportunities. You have to take some of that as well. I think it's part of it.
No, medical aid is expensive. So
Yeah.
when I see you, I'll be
That's
like,
you did it on this podcast.
yeah, there you go. I'll be like,
Dude,
dude.
what would you say to someone who's now at that stage in their life where they're like, you know what, when I finish school, I kind of want to be a doctor?
I think it's great. I think if you've got a passion for people, you're willing to work hard, long hours.
Yeah.
I saw, I've got one of my favorite ice cream influencers posted this on her birthday the other day.
There's ice cream influencers now.
Yeah, ice cream influencers.
Dude,
guys.
Magnum.
It's a wild world out here.
I love this
She
world.
said this, right? Like, and I think this is for if you wanna study medicine.
Sure.
If you love, she said this, it's my birthday and I love people and that's why I work hard. And I think that applies to everyone in medicine, or maybe everyone in life. Like, if you have a love for people and are willing to work hard, that's the right profession for you.
Wow. Do we have a shortage of doctors in South Africa? Do you know?
Definitely. But apparently, like, and this is a big problem, like there's so many doctors that are now unemployed. So
Yeah.
apparently
So
there's a
how does-
bottleneck in the system. So you can't get a comm service job because the posts are frozen because of budget cuts.
But we had the guys from Colombia, where? From during COVID.
Cuba.
From Cuba. We had the guys from Cuba come
yeah.
through.
Are you
Don't-
interviewing a politician soon on this podcast? You need to ask them.
I
those
need to ask what
questions.
the
You
heck
need
happened
to-
there.
yeah.
Because we shipped a lot of Cubans, doctors.
Oh, they're sounding like slavery.
No, sorry, no, come on.
But apparently, yeah.
Sorry, we didn't ship them. They came in an airplane.
Yeah.
But what I mean is where's the shortage? If
I think if you look at every state facility, they're understaffed horribly.
Hmm.
And not just doctors, nursing staff, physiotherapists, OTs, the whole team is understaffed. I don't know how we fix that problem. I think I'm far removed. I can't answer
Because
that.
every year that we're churning out
Doctors.
hundreds of doctors from
Yeah.
UCT, Wits.
Some of them go overseas, some of them leave, some of them go. and
Why
do
are so many
corporate.
leaving though? Because I've got mates who are just like writing and they're like, we're going to Ireland.
Yeah.
We're out. I've got so many mates on my Instagram now.
No,
that
you're
are
right.
there.
I know so many of my friends that I was studying.
is there a better quality of life there? What's
I think people like load shedding, crime. I think all of those things play a part in the decisions that you make.
guys, we have a duty. Don't you think? There's an oath.
That's why I
that you
said
guys
earlier, if you love people and
Yeah.
are willing to work hard, I didn't say if you love money,
Yeah.
security,
Yeah,
fame
sure.
and fortune. If you love people.
Jeez.
Wow. That was amazing.
I don't know.
That's like you have to. I feel like being a doctor is not really the title.
Yeah.
It's like I'm willing to lay my
the
life
duty,
down
right?
for this career.
Yeah.
And I've seen it time and time again. My mates that are doctors, they all very different to the way I am when I approach things. You know what I mean? They're always willing to help. Like at Durban July, somebody passed out, right? And they were having a good time, but they were like, nah, we out. I'm like, what the hell's going
out.
on?
Yeah, like
now they're
it's-
like standing by this lady trying to see if she needs a.
Those are the
a-
real ones.
They're like, we need a senior. This lady might need a resus. I'm like, yo, I'm just trying to bet on a horse now. What's going on?
Yo.
But you're gonna be passionate about it. Exactly
to.
what he said. It's got to be.
I think I am. I think I'm quite passionate about it.
100%. There's no way you're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, doctor for idols as well.
Yeah.
How was that?
What's that like?
Greatest gig I've had in my life.
You were there for like
13 years.
Yeah.
The show ends this
Yeah.
year. It's the final. We're in the final 6 weeks of Idols in my entire life.
wow.
I started Idols when I started private practice, right? So that's
Yeah.
been
Yo.
such a nice thing to be part of.
Why do they need a doctor there?
To look after the contestants, because the contestants stay in a house
Yes.
together. So it's actually like a whole separate show. I had they shot that. It's like
like
Idols
Big
on a Sunday,
Big
Big
Brother.
Brother on the
Yeah.
side. But like they would get sick, suffer with mental health problems, voice problems, just general medical things. So it's always nice to have like someone that you can call at 10 o'clock at night.
So what happens with the whole voice thing? What do you do if somebody's like, yo, doc?
We try and throw magic wands
tryna-
and
Wow.
ginger and honey and a few other medications along the way. But I mean, I've met so many cool people. Like, I mean,
Shikana.
can I tell you my favorite Idol story of all time?
Please.
This was 2015. I was still shot at the Mosaic, and they had like a green room where all the Idols contestants would be in.
Relax.
And that day I was late, so I ran in and I ran into this lady. As she came out of the door, I ran her down and laid
hectic.
on top of her.
Oh.
Only to find out it was Ciara. So there I was,
Ciara.
on top of
She
my
likes the way
goodies.
I ride.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Needless to say,
I used to hide from my mom and watch those music videos, bro. Those things were fire, bro. And you put the thing on alt. so
there
you
was
can-
like Ciara and her security guards were like pulling me
Who
up.
the
and,
flip?
yeah. No, it ended well. I apologize. She was great.
Wow.
Hectic.
Hi.
You like
Ciara.
falling and wake like, oh my gosh, it's you.
It's
It was one of
Ciara.
those.
We had John Legend. He was sick
Wow.
once on Idols. It's been a great journey.
Oh,
Dude, and now it's gone.
Yeah.
why?
All
What
good
happened to
things must
Idols?
come
though?
to an end.
I had seasons, right? Like, as I said, like I harp on this 40-year-old thing, but when you turn 40, you realize nothing lasts forever. And like, there was a season and it was a great time. It was such a good time. And now it's time that we all do.
What was your best season of Idols? Your best winner? Who is the one where you're like, wow, this is amazing? I know
Best
it's hard
winner.
to pick,
and you're
but
probably like, she better not, or he better not get sick.
You not be listening to this podcast either. I think the first few seasons was really, like, it was really nice for me. Like, I think Freddie, Dave from that era, Kaya,
Elvis Blue.
Elvis Blue was when I started.
Yo.
And then it was just, back then I was young. So, like, the music was the music I listened to, right?
yeah,
I'm
sure.
40, so, like, now I'm hanging out with 18-year-olds and they could be my kids. They're that young. And, like,
yeah,
so that connection's a little bit different now.
Yeah.
hectic.
Man.
What a journey you've been on.
What a life, right?
And what a
I'm
journey
so
there is
grateful.
still to come.
Congrats, man.
Yeah, now we just need to,
Now we
I
gotta
don't know
push
what we
on.
need to do next.
We're not coming running though.
But
That's
I
for
You
sure.
showed me your running classes earlier. Was that just for fashion?
must have been.
No, I'm trying to cycle. So I got them kind of for those purposes,
Yeah.
you know, and for golf now.
Yes.
If you could do a collab with anyone from a fashion point of view,
Oh, guys.
like a Joshua X,
Goes without saying.
Fear of God.
Serious?
Essentials. That's my
Jerry
baby.
Lorenzo is
I'm on fear of God no matter
Why?
what.
I find the color, so I like loud, bright colors. I feel like the
Yeah.
color palette is just
I
too
only wear
neutral for
two
my
colors. I only wear two colors. Well, okay. Cream
All the
and-
time?
Yeah, all the
Okay.
time. Cream and white
So that's perfect for you,
and
right?
black. No doubt. So ever since Essentials dropped, I was like, yo,
This is my
this is
vibe.
me. And I've been copying and copying. And that's why I was like, with our merch, I really want to do something.
gotta look
Not,
like that.
I don't want it to be the same.
Inspiration.
Because I don't want to steal from
inspiration.
anyone. But it's inspired us so far.
I think it's
on
a
this
compliment
journey.
to Jerry
And
Lorenzo.
I'll
If you
just-
can inspire someone to do that,
Exactly.
I think it's great.
And I'll give away the name of our merch because this is a fashion
Not
chat.
yet.
Not yet. Keep it,
You
keep
gotta
it. You have to create the
gotta
hype.
keep it-
you
gotta
gotta
keep it silent.
The hype. You
You
have to like
gotta keep the momentum.
You got to keep the hype
Yeah.
momentum.
But it's
And
a
you-
really nice name.
and you got to surprise me. You got to keep it in.
I'm
You
just
gotta-
going to send it to you in a box.
Yeah, please.
Quiet. And
Nice.
the boxes are triple black as well.
Jeez, he's
Yes.
definitely on the field.
Okay, he's way too excited. It's his third flat
Yeah.
white today. I don't know.
What's
man.
what's yours quickly before we wrap? What's your
Your
favorite?
collab.
Yeah, okay. Well, we said it already.
Yeah.
Like 60,000.
No. Like I think it's deeper
Oh.
than that. I think
Is
I
it?
would like if I look at where at this stage where my fashion inspiration comes
Yeah.
from. It's Junior. I would love to do a Junior Matano Donny collab. I don't think that would ever happen.
I thought you were going to say Daniel Ashram. I was
Oh,
like,
that guy. We haven't even spoken about Daniel.
because that's
Ashram.
your boy.
Check the
Daniel
excitement.
Asham, Bogey the man, they're all friends together. I watch these people and I feel like there's a group of friends and I just want to be part of that circle and be their friend. And it's just.
And you literally just missed him at the kids'
missed him.
store. But
And
like,
I send my wife these, she must be so frustrated. Like 17 reels a day of Bogey, Daniel, Junior. She's like, Donny, you're not part of that friendship circle.
unfortunately.
Why are you not starting your own, Kith?
I think it will take the passion away. Like I had a chat with the guys from Father years ago, and I was like, guys, I need to buy in. I need to have a coffee shop. They're like, Donny, always enjoy the coffee. Enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah.
The moment you get involved in the business side, it becomes a human resources bottom line thing, and your passion will die.
I think you should make one called Myth.
Myth.
I myth you. Sorry, this Kith thing has got me.
It's got you're gonna go research that today.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's this whole and I've been caught up in it as well. The street culture,
it's my
fashion trend. You know what I mean? What about the average Joe who wants to look good? What would you suggest?
Do you know where
Yoka?
I like buying clothes from?
Where?
Is H&M. They have fire stuff,
Totally,
right?
that's what he
you
was
don't
saying.
always have to wear name brands.
Nah,
you don't
facts.
always have to.
100%.
I think if you just stay, and I know this sounds so cliche, like if you just stay authentic to who you are, right? And I think I'm seeing a lot of this in the youth in South Africa. They're wearing thrifted things, wild stuff from their parents, but it just looks so authentic.
Yeah.
Coming back, the old
I
school.
love that, right? Like I love seeing kids
Tommy
in Rose
Hilfigers.
Bank.
Yeah.
It's like wearing authentically cool stuff, and you
Yeah,
don't have
sure.
to spend hundreds of thousands.
True.
I always feel like you can have 2 black shirts and a white one and 1 pair of jeans that
Exactly.
and you good to go.
But you gotta have the dunk lows.
Dunk lows.
Mid-high, what are they called?
The mids, the Jordan
mids.
mids.
You're not
supposed to have that.
My
So
bad.
I said to one of my mates, I was like, yo, bro, do you think mids belong in your collection? He was like, yeah, if you have a
Bin.
dustbin for them. Yo, Don, it's been amazing getting
Guys,
to chat to you.
it's-
So
Yeah.
sick, man. Yeah.
We've touched on everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
And we wish you the best on this journey and hopefully we get to be a part of it somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
man.
thank you, guys. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
like to come back for the 1,000th episode of this podcast.
Really?
sick.
That would be
sick.
amazing.
Yeah, because we'd love to see where everybody is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
like
know
a
what I mean?
recap episode.
Yeah.
Like we
Like
have one with
Survivor.
like
What is
Survivor.
that? Survivor,
Like
the
everybody's there. And you're like, yo.
I love that show.
That would be
I
so
really do.
nice.
Yeah, I'm
I
looking
miss
forward
it.
to the and yeah, cheers to you guys to 1,000 more episodes
Cheers,
of
cheers,
this
cheers.
podcast.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys. Well, we needed more, Mo. You're supposed to be on that. Mo, you're supposed to be on.
That's a wrap.
Yeah, give me all your attention. One time for the misfits. Through the doors open on the highway. I promise you don't want to miss this.